Hello and welcome to the Confusion Wrestling Podcast, the last bastion of independent wrestling. I'm your host, Rob Kammer, and man, oh man, it struck again. It's like wrestlers have real lives or something, and they have families and real jobs and commitments to things that aren't semi-professional neckbeards that live in their mother's basement who also happen to have a hot tub filled with pizza rolls. You'd think like these would just be unfeeling robots, but I guess that's not the thing. So, got another rescheduling. I know you think I'm probably lying about all this and I just don't have any real friends. And technically, I mean, half that is true. I don't have real friends, but I'm not lying about my guests canceling on me. So once again, we're going to check out some wrestling that you should probably be watching or attempting to watch if you got some streaming money. The beautiful thing is this week I'm going to take a look at some mystery wrestling. That is AEW wrestler Evil Uno's promotion. He's doing this big thing right now where he's unrolling season 1 out for free on the YouTubes. So now's a fine time as any to check out what mystery wrestling's all about. It's got some buzz online, and what the clips I've seen, I've thoroughly enjoyed. So I figured, let's go ahead and just sit down and watch an episode of it. So that's what we did. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about Mystery Wrestling 10. They usually have a rotating cast of commentary. It's always Evil Uno and someone else. For Mystery Wrestling 10, they brought in former host of Hey EW, RJ City. They're being introduced to the show to us. RJ is a professional. He has a headset as we make our way to the ring where it's a fatal 4-way match. It's being announced. There are 4 druids in the ring. The referee announces them one at a time and they disrobe. And it's referee Brenda, referee Lewis, referee Surge, and referee Psycho Mike? One of these things is not like the other, but they have a new referee. His name's Mike, and he looks pretty psycho. Mike is, though, taking his job very seriously, patting everyone down. I think he's a competitor. He doesn't need to be doing this stuff, but, what do I know? I just know that this is a ring filled with bias. This is a fatal 4-way match, so we're going to pit all these zebras against each other. Is this booked specifically for me? Because we all know how much I love referee violence, and now we're going to have referee on referee on referee on referee violence, and just a 5th referee to call the shots while we're at it. I think this is booked for me specifically. I appreciate that, Uno. It is not often that matches are booked specifically for podcasters that watch wrestling in their hot tub full of pizza rolls. And I thoroughly appreciate it. But let's move on. Let's talk about the match. So, as I said, Mike's patting everyone down. He's taking his job seriously. There is a 5th ref who's the actual official as we're going through a 4-ref test of strength. But Mike's like, no, we're going to wrestle too. And knees one of them in the stomach. Where they take turns doing the headlock, shoot-off, shoulder tackle on Mike. And Mike is not impressed. He doesn't go down. He almost goes down. They finally have to resort to tripping him to take Psycho Mike down. They're all fighting over the pin now, and the actual ref almost gets a pin. He gets a 2 count off of that. So now we're kind of doing the Spider-Man point thing going on, because no one really knows who's the official until one of the security guys brings a new ref shirt. And now our official ref is wearing 2 ref shirts. Makes all the difference. Now we know who the ref is. Anyway, everyone gets dumped out to the ring by referee Mike. He gets a running start. Looks like he's going to go for a tope or some sort of dive, but instead just got a running start on the 10 count. However, they get in at 9. freaking tropes. Mike distracts the other refs and then low blows in each and every one of them, and then body slams each of them. Only gets a 2 count off of that, though. Mike takes out the official, and then does a count while everybody is down, tries to go for the knockout 10 count, kicking people down while to keep them that way. Unfortunately, that is not successful either. He is then triple teamed by the other referees. The dead ref wakes up just enough to poke referee Mike in the eyes and then dies again, as all the other referees take turns low blowing him and then hitting progressively worse stinger splashes in the corner. The 3 refs then just throw up the X, and Mike's dead. Mike has been injured. He can't carry on in this match. He is out. It's not elimination rules, but he's injured, so he can't compete anymore. Gets carried out by security. Ref Brenda takes out one of the other refs. It goes through his pockets. That's like a callback from the first Mystery Wrestling, if I'm correct. Don't hold me to that numerology on it. But the important thing is he's got his $5 back. So big callback on that. Who says wrestling doesn't tell long-term stories? And there's one right there. However, with that destruction, Ref Louie goes low, then hits a leaping DDT. 6th ref is now in to count the 3 count. Your winner, Referee Louie. And this match is great. It is an indicator of things to come, hopefully. I'm not going to spoil things yet. I will spoil things by the end, because that's why you listen to this podcast, right? For me to spoil everything. I might as well be Don Jardine, the spoiler, for all you great-grandparents out there. But yeah, no, this match was insane. Everybody's a ref. There's the only one I recognized basically was Mike, and that's because, as even commentary points out, he's a real wrestler. But it was a lot of fun. I enjoy this kind of stuff in my wrestling, and get the feeling we're going to see a bunch of it because it's Mystery Wrestling. That being said, though, we are going to take a 180 on this for the Loot 07 Championship, as McRae Martin looks to defend the championship against the man like Darice. Darice is rapping to the ring. You can see his work, at least in the U.S., mostly through Game Changer Wrestling. He's done a handful of appearances over there. And McRae is one half of the IWTV Tag Team Champions, Miracle Generation, if I'm not mistaken. We starting off with some graps. They're dancing their way out of shoulder tackles. That way they don't have to fall down. They can just, I don't know, do the worm or something. I'm hip. I know what dances are. We do brawl around the ring for a bit. And when we get back into the ring, Darice is in charge. Matrix Punch knocks Darice the F out, though, as Martin makes a comeback. There's a lot of swinging around into some sort of side slam by Martin for 2. Get a shotgun dropkick by Darice. Another baby swing turns into a wicked crucifix driver by Darice. Jumping flatliner by Martin gets 2. Darice hits a superplex in a very low ceilinged venue. I'm impressed they got that off without killing anybody. And now we are trading chops and really going at it. Even commentaries you get kind of wincing audibly and visually too, because commentary is always in the corner like a good Twitch stream. But yeah, they are really laying into each other with those chops. Kip up cutter by Darice gets a 2 count. We get a quick back and forth before a double down, before Martin finally locks in the assault driver to get the 3 in a very fast-paced match. Afterwards, we do get respect from the 2 competitors, and that gets a standing O from RJ City and Uno, because I don't know if anybody expected to have a certified banger of a match in a mystery wrestling show, because they are more about the entertainment aspect of professional wrestling at times than they are the pure graps, if you will. But yeah, that was a really fun match to be had in a, I guess, especially with the 180 from the last match where it was a lot of nothing but shtick basically, to go right into a very good fast-paced matchup, indie style, of course, for the Loot 07 Championship. Following this, we got an intergender tag team match as Vanessa Craven and James Stone take on Kristara and Brent Banks. It is announced that if you bought feet pics from Craven at the event, those were actually Stones' feet. So, if you were there, you already know about it. But if anyone's purchased feet pics from Vanessa Craven after that, that still might be James Stones' feet. So, be forewarned about that. May not be legit. They may be counterfeit feet pics. Anyway, the important thing is, though, never mind all that, is that Stone attacks Banks from behind to start this match off. Banks is a speedy little devil, though. Once he gets going, Kristara is tagged in, and now we're getting this freaking tag spot where they tag. One goes for the arm wringer, and the partner then jumps off the ropes with the double sledge onto the arm. And they do this a handful of times. It was mildly humorous doing it from, like, each rope. So they do go off the bottom, middle, and top rope at various points throughout this thing. However, Craven is finally tagged in, but Kristara is able to take Craven down, and Craven is not thrilled about it. Let me tell you that. Let me tell you something about that, Brother Jack, dude. Catches Kristara mid-air and hits a big fall-away slam out of the dealio. Big backbreaker by Stone gets to. Banks breaks up a pin off a vertical suplex. Craven hits the Devil's Kiss, only gets a 2 count off of that. We get the hush spot, looking like we're going for like a PK kick or something of the like, but swerve, bro. It is a running chin lock. Diving across body by Kristara leads to a double down. Banks gets the hot tag and goads Storm into taking Craven off the ring apron. Banks sends Craven face first into the corner. Stone charges and then just does a running slap to Craven's behind and then collapses to the mat like he's dead. Takes a bump off the dealio. Craven is upset. Banks is like, dude, no, nope. And on the ground, Stone's just flipping off Banks and then goes back to playing dead as Craven starts the violence party because that was not a consensual spank. Unfortunately, though, for Banks, he is taking the blame for it with the various chops and forearms. Luckily, Kristara is in there to hit a leaping DDT on Craven. However, Kristara gets a nasty DVD by Stone. Stone and Banks trade off strikes. Craven breaks up a pin attempt and tags herself in, but eats stereo super kicks and shows off some flexibility as she is on her knees kneeling and just falls flat on her back with her legs underneath of her. I can't do that. I think I tore my ACL watching that. Maybe my MCL too. Both my legs. I'm crippled for life now. That's what's happened. Just watching the spot, crippled for life. However, our team of Craven and Stone make a comeback. Banks gets hit with a German suplex into a Gotch-style pile driver, finished off with the choke bomb to give the victory to James Storm and Vanessa Craven. As a whole, they play this match pretty straight outside of the spanking spot there towards the end, and things also picked up quite a bit at the end too, but solid tag team wrestling. So if you're a fan of the art that is tag team wrestling, you'll enjoy that match, and there's a little bit of something for everyone. A solid match, a little bit of comedy, but very good mechanics. Thoroughly enjoyed this match as well, even if I'm not as familiar with Brent Banks and Kristara. And next, this is a marquee matchup, ladies and gentlemen. This is a marquee matchup if I have ever seen one. Micromania is running wild, Brother Jack, dude. He is taking on Serpentico, probably still jinxed by Nyla Rose, but, those things happen when you shoot your mouth off a wee bit, or a lot, or every day. Anyway, the important thing is, Serpentico wants to start things off with a test of strength. Of course, Microman, tiny little dude, can't reach up that high. So eventually Serpentico gets down on his knees, and we get the test of strength, which Microman technically wins. It takes both hands of Serpentico to get any sort of advantage on Microman. Either way, this leads to a batch of Microman offense, a flurry, if you will. Serpentico goes for a crossbody way over Microman's head. Does eventually, though, get a big boot, followed by a pair of elbows on the little dude. Serpentico tries a figure 4 leg lock, followed up by a sharpshooter. Unfortunately, Microman's legs are too small to wrap around Serpentico's, and probably never thought we'd see that day where a pair of legs was too tiny to wrap around Serpentico's, but here we are, or at least here we were, like 18 months ago, which I think this event was actually first taped. But either way, we're not getting a leg submission like that off of Microman, so we're just gonna go for a chin lock or something of the like. Tiny little clothesline stops a Microman comeback, diving crossbody off the ring apron by Microman. Microman locks in a rear naked choke outside the ring, and Serpentico runs around the ring with Micro on his back, being the living embodiment of Mitch Hedberg's wearing a backpack and turtleneck at the exact same time. In the ring, we got the boo-yay punches. Some child in the crowd starts a "that's not nice" chant. They think Microman's a little kid, which, I mean, to be fair, he is the size of a little kid. Big Splash, though, gets a 2 count for Microman. Body slam by Serpentico only gets a 2 count. 619 followed by a German suplex by Microman gets 2. Small package, or I guess for him it'd be a regular size package by Microman. Not enough to get the deal done. It wasn't wicked enough. TKO kneeling edition by Serpentico gets a 2 count. Serpentico dives into the middle turnbuckle, gets overzealous, and that is pretty much the end of him. Big stomp followed by the Vader bomb leads to Microman's victory. And, you know, your winner, Microman, and Micromania running wild. You know, anyone who's listened to this podcast since, I'm not going to say the beginning, but who's listened to it since, you know, close to the pandemic, which I guess is near the beginning, knows that Micromania thoroughly runs wild in the Camera household. So get those fingers up and together, squeeze them a little bit like you're pinching somebody's head, and celebrate with me another Microman victory. All right, we're going to go off to intermission. RJ is going to go sell merch at this point. I didn't watch all of intermission, so now's just a good time, I guess, to go get a refill on your coffee or your energy drink, or just, I don't know, go get a whole darn coffee maker while you're at it, and we'll be back. Un momento. Hey, folks. The Confusion Wrestling Podcast has become a veritable hub of shopping and treats and all that sort of good stuff. Whether you need a sugar-free alternative to energy drinks in the form of Raise Energy, or maybe even, you know, top-of-the-line ice makers, coffee machines, and other household appliances, all through my links section. All you got to do is wander down to the descriptor of this week's episode, check out the various links, click on them, and go shopping like you normally would. Heck, like, it's no difference. You just came in and just said Rob sent you. And that way, you can get the things you need, maybe even at a discount, and the podcast gets a kickback as well. So be sure to check out those links. Thank you very much for listening. Back to the show. And we are back. We got a guitar player playing like a metal-based blues riff. He's wearing plaid. He's wearing a cutout flannel coat when Tabernacle de Trio make their appearance. Is Tabernacle de Team, and yeah, I didn't write down the third dude's name. Toll. That's all I got. That's all I got here. I don't know. Let me if I pull this thing up. Nope, they're just calling him Tabernacle Team. Tabernacle Team is usually just a tag team, but there's 3 of them, so they're Tabernacle Trio. Jobbers got a jobber entrance and no offense, because this is just a wild brawl with the guitarist doing solos the entire time. Does like pull out the Ultimate Warrior theme when one of Tabernacle Team shakes the top rope. At one point, the guitarist is like standing on one of the corpses outside of the ring. Tabernacle Team leave and come back with doors. Uno finally refers to the jobbers as like a variation of the Jabroni brothers, like John, Jack, Jingleheimer, or something of the like. And they're all going through the doors one at a time. Then 2 of the jobbers are used to hold the table up, like they're on their hands and knees, like table legs, as the door is set upon them. The third jobber is taken to the top rope by this Toll person, who hits a super Samoan driver through the door for the 3 count. The entire time we got this New Jack music going on, and I don't know if they just didn't tell that guy how long he had to play, because you could tell at various points he didn't know like what he should be doing, because he didn't want to keep like doing like the same riff over and over again. But yeah, this was technically a match, I guess, but it was just a slaughter. Let's be real about this, ladies and gentlemen. Tabernacle Team are wild brawlers, and you put them in the ring with jobbers. Poor little guys. Poor little guys. Anyway, to lighten things up, we have Junior Benito, one of Evil Uno's trainees. He is taking on Cowboy Mike. And let me be real with you, people. This is what a real cowboy looks like. You know what? I would even go so far that I bet that young man, Cowboy Mike, I bet he's the boss of the plains. I mean that. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. He's probably the boss of the plains, because that is what a real cowboy looks like, ladies and gentlemen. And I am excited to see a real cowboy step into the ring. And meanwhile, Ref Brenda, he's got his head wrapped, selling the DDT he took earlier to kind of hopefully keep the cowboy in line, because, I may like this here cowboy, but he's also a cowboy, so he's probably wild and woolly. Anyway, so yeah, we're getting to see other personalities of one psycho, Mike. Mike gets the microphone and notes that he has a doctor-diagnosed condition of being a piece of shit. His phrase, not mine, and also the crowd's face. But luckily, he's got himself a new cure for the condition. This time it's in pill form, so you can't just slap him in the back and knock everything out of his mouth. Unfortunately, though, as such, since it's a little bit more concentrated, it can only be consumed in a wrestling ring. So luckily we are in line. He goes to he undoes the medication. He looks over the referee, because evidently he had a cure before, and a referee gave him a pat and spat the medicine all over the place. But he gives the ref a look, and then the ref's like, it wasn't me last time, and he's like, oh ref, all you look the same, and everyone's like, oh no, because Mr. Benito is a person of color. But he's talking about the ref, so evidently that is fine, I guess. Casual racism is fine as long as it's towards the referee, but who am I to judge, because I hate me some ref bias. Anyway, Mike goes to take a big old gulp of that medication when Junior Benito gives him a big old clap on the back, and the medicine is sprayed out all over the ring. Mike is trying to lap it up out of the dirty mat. He gets up, gets the mic, he's like, oh, I'm really sorry about this, but luckily I got myself a different cure. So they got a plan B. We got another cure to be had. Unfortunately, Mike is partially illiterate and has to have Benito read off the rules of it, and the new meds are only effective after giving a body slam. Oh, so who would have thought the one specialty of Cowboy Mike is what is needed to be able to take those pills. Mike goes for the body slam, but Benito gets away. We got a science chant arbitrarily, and I love this crowd. This crowd's great. Benito throws the cowboy hat at Mike, and Mike takes a bump for it, and that upsets Mike. That made Mike sad, so he's like, I'm just going to go sit and cry for a bit. Need a good cry. Benito offers an apology. Mike's like, no, I want a better one. Demands a better apology. Benito does apologize once again. Mike doesn't believe him, so they go to hug it out. And swerve, bro, it's a body slam. Not really. Benito got away again. We get into the ring, and so we get some graps before Mike discovers the hard cam. So now he spends the next minute or two just staring dead-eyed into the hard cam while maintaining wrist control. He goes to pin Benito with a wrist lock and keeps tossing the other arm away whenever he raises his shoulder. That goes on for quite a bit, trying to tire Benito out, I assume. They get up. We're going to have some more offense. Benito gets caught in the ropes, sticking his feet out to hopefully keep Mike at bay. And luckily for Benito, Mike is not terribly bright. Keeps running face first into Benito's outstretched feet. And even commentary is just like, Mike, someone get him to stop. And at one point, Mike thinks it'll be a great idea that this will work, since running face first didn't work. If he runs back first, things will turn out different. And spoiler alert, it does not. Anyway, we're going. Mike takes a Royal Rumble bump off another one of those kicks, goes to the outside. Benito goes for a crossbody, and Mike catches him. The crowd is chanting for a body slam, like into the chairs of the front row, and Mike calls the crowd sick before just like kind of like tossing Benito down and just punching him straight in the sternum. It was great. Crowd sick. Boom! Punch to the chest. Beautiful. Um, we go finally get into the ring, and Benito is functionally finished. Just laying there in the ring. So Mike gets up. Who wants to see me hit a body slam? Take my drugs and get better. And of course, the crowd goes wild. I personally want to see him hit a body slam, take his drugs, and get better. But unfortunately, so he before he could get everything said and done, like finishing the job, Mike gets schoolboyed off the body slam attempt, and oh no, poor Mike. He does though finally hit the body slam. The crowd goes wild for it, but now he's stuck with the ethical dilemma. Does he go for the pin, or does he take the drugs? Go for the pin, take the drugs. Go for the pin, take the drugs. Mike is confused. Mike is teasing both, and the crowd doing the cheer boo to try to get him to take his meds. Even commentaries is like, go take your meds. Quit being psycho. Quit being a piece of shit. But before Mike can take his meds, he finds himself on taking his meds, and Benito rolls him up and spills the pills. The pills are now ruined. Mike is really sorry about what's going to happen next. Except, luckily, he thought about this and got a plan C. So he's got some sort of concoction of bathtub water in an injectable syringe cure, slips and stabs Benito in the chest with it. This makes Benito feel pretty good. So, I mean, I don't think Benito was a piece of shit. So, but now he's a good person. So he's like, that's cool. Like, we can figure this out. There can be a plan D. We can get you the D. And Mike assures Junior that Mike's a piece of shit, hits a low blow, and then, much to my joy, hits a ripcord low blow, which I have never seen before. I have seen a lot of low blows, ladies and gentlemen, followed up by a pedigree. We are channeling the Triple H Booker T WrestleMania main event. Only two, though. Off of that, Junior Benito does manage to make a comeback off that, hits a scissors kick, or scissor adjacent kick, followed up by a 450 splash to pick up the victory. And this was long-winded, but they were really pulling the shtick that Mike needs his drugs, and I was thoroughly entertained by this. This is probably the best match of 2024. I think this is when the match came out, was in 2024. I was thoroughly entertained by all of this, but I finally find a cowboy I like. I'm going to ride off with him into the sunset. That is what we are going to do about it, I guess. But I thought it was a real fun match. I know it may not be everyone's cup of tea because so much shtick involved, so much crowd play. But I thought it was amazing. This takes us to our main event of the evening, a literal death match as London Lightning takes on Cecil Nix. It is announced as a literal death match. The only way to win this match, ladies and gentlemen, is to murder your opponent. Everyone who participates has to sign a waiver, I assume, to not hold Mystery Wrestling liable for said murder. The ref has deathmatch gear on, so he's got gloves, he's got goggles on. As soon as the bell rings, Cecil Nix, who kept the pen from the signage, hits a spear and tries to stab London Lightning in the face with it. They are having graps. Nix goes outside and gets a screwdriver. Now we're grappling over a screwdriver. RJ can't bring himself to watch literal death inside a wrestling ring, and he ducks out. His replacement from the intermission earlier sits in as Lightning gets strangled with a cord, like a variation of a bungee cord, I think. Couldn't quite see from my vantage point anyway, but luckily I'm not commentary, so they probably knew what it was. We are now both just hunting for weapons inside the ring. Nix grabbed himself a board, donks Lightning with it, and then proceeds to hammer a nail into it. So we are going to, get rid of some aliens, hopefully, but Nix just couldn't get that nail to stick into the board, and finally just settles for the hammer. Got a door in the ring, takes a wild swing, and just gets the hammer stuck in the door. Now they're both trying to hammer the door for whatever reason instead of each other. Eventually, though, Nix is supleed through the door. Nix also counters a chair shot with a low blow. Goes outside the ring, get a back that has a big old rock in it. Lightning low blows, but misses the rock shot. Nix now has the rock, and Lightning goes for the eyes. Blinded by the thumb. Not the light, the thumb. Nix just hits a ripcord lariat, taking out the referee. The referee might be dead, but there's no referee to check whether the ref's dead, so he still has match. Lightning gets a plastic bag to try to asphyxiate Nix, and Nix just pokes a hole in the bag and starts breathing normally. At this point, commentary notes that Cecil Nix might be the smartest wrestler ever. And I don't know, he may be. Nix goes outside, has a pillow, and tries to smother Lightning. Referee is still out, so we can't know if he's actually dead or not. Lightning's little brother enters the ring to perform CPR as the ref wakes up. Lightning is alive, hits a pair of DDTs, one on the plastic bag, one on a chair, and I guess it's not really a pair, it's a trio of DDTs, the final one being on the ring apron. Lightning goes back to get a water-filled cooler and tries to drown Nix. Ushigoroshi by Nix, and Nix goes back to find a extension cord in a toaster, but he couldn't get it in time. I guess actually the cord wasn't long enough. Ends up taking a bump off of that. Lightning starts exposing the ring boards, moving the padding and the canvas off as Nix moves some planks around. So there's a hole in the ring. However, Lightning spine busters Nix, and Nix kind of falls into the hole. London finally goes to see what's going on and gets a face full of poison mist by Nix, and Nix comes out with a can of bees. However, evidently that is a security risk because you might kill people that aren't in the ring. Allergic reactions, anaphylaxis is no joke, ladies and gentlemen. So security tackles Nix and grabs the can of bees before any damage can be done that way. We got swords though. Swords are okay, so we are now sword fighting. Nix disarms Lightning, but doesn't go for the killing blow before Lightning's little brother comes back. Finally, Nix grabs the kid and demands that London go drink this conveniently placed poison in the corner, otherwise he'll kill Lightning's little brother. So it looks like Lightning's going to drink the poison, gets a mouthful of it, and then literally does a poison mist, douses Nix in lighter fluid, and before he can light Nix on fire, we get some weird music playing, and the lights are going wonky, smoke by the entrance comes out, and an older London Lightning comes through the curtain, confused, probably drunk, I guess, pretty tired because he's old as well. They get him the mic, and he tells young London to clear his search history, which is sound advice for anyone. Oh, but by the way, also don't kill Cecil Nix because it alters history, mostly wrestling history, but history nonetheless. Microman becomes an accountant, Psycho Mike becomes Normal Michael, and I mean that's probably a good thing for him. Kane becomes president, but worst of all, at least not according to one person in the crowd, worst of all, Cecil Nix is known as a good wrestler, and Lord knows we can't have that. Mystery Wrestling was shut down if Cecil Nix is a good wrestler. Evil Uno will be tossed out in the street like he's garbage. Oh, and by the way, young London Lightning will never get signed by a major company. So that's kind of where we're going to start drawing the line, as old London talks about how he'll just keep wrestling in the indies and the crowds will get smaller. He'll stop tanning. His hair will grow gray. And finally, he'll just go to wrestle a spot show in Quebec and get sent back in time to try to talk to his younger self, and it's not worth it. It's not worth it at all as he stares into the camera. So what are we going to do here? Someone has to die. Someone in this match has to be killed for this match to end, and old London decides to take one for the team and drinks the poison. We get the melodramatics before his final words are, "Don't take so many stupid bumps," before he dies. Eventually, we do get the official word with the death of old London Lightning that Cecil Nix is your winner. They even have a in memoriam graphic to appear up on the screen. It's crazy going nuts that they had that ready, even with the updated dates on it too, which was even more disconcerting. But yeah, so literal death match ends with a time-traveling London Lightning drinking poison, leading to your winner, and like arguably throughout the history of Mystery Wrestling, the MVP of Mystery Wrestling, Cecil Nix. And as we're getting ready to go off the air, we are just screaming about how we need to get rid of the body, soak it in lye, bury it 8 feet deep, etc., etc., etc. But yeah, that's main event, a literal death match, and we watched someone die. It was crazy. But yeah, so there, if this is your first dose of Mystery Wrestling, there's your Mystery Wrestling. I would be the first to admit it's not for everyone, but if you like a liberal dose of insanity in your professional wrestling, this is where it's at. Usually newer events are on the Twitch and behind the doors of Patreon. Though, as I said, at least the first 10 Mystery Wrestling events are now up paywall free on the YouTube. So that's where I'm getting mine for a moment. Yeah, and that's just how we're gonna end things. Hopefully people stop ditching me because I got, like, I don't know, at least 3 people ready to go that are probably ready to cancel on me. But in the meanwhile, I'll just, think happy thoughts in the meanwhile and let you guys take your leave, of course, after you listen to the plugs and the best ways to support this here podcast. In the meanwhile, though, I'll see you all next week. The Confusion Wrestling Podcast is a weekly podcast that is written and performed by Rob Kammer and hosted by Spotify for podcasters. The background music for this section is Ruined by Day, performed by Alan Schroeder. If you enjoyed this podcast and would like to help support, please like, subscribe, and tell your friends, family, and enemies. Leaving a review is helpful as well, because word-of-mouth advertisement is very important for us small podcasts. My social media links can be found in the description, but Twitter, Instagram, and Blue Sky are at The Nova of Cass. That's TheNovaofCass, and Facebook is MLW Confusion, all one word. If you'd like to support monetarily and help upgrade my equipment, please check out my virtual tip jar at ko-fi.com/Casanova, or if you prefer more bang for your buck, go to patreon.com/Casanova, that's CASSONOVA, where for as little as $2, backers get access to the podcast early and without those pesky ads, plus other exclusive content. So join the crew that is headed up by Keith Wynn, Alan Schroeder, Chris Zach, and Elenia, and check it out. You can also find t-shirts, coffee mugs, and other merch at the Confusion Podcast store on Teespring. Also, be sure to check out the affiliate links in the description below. For business inquiries such as ads, sponsorships, and etc., please email rzkamer, Kamerer, at comcast.net. Thank you all for listening.